Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about one of the most important parts of finishing a manuscript, and that is the editing process. So here are our top 10 tips for editing.
Number 1, find beta readers, ideally more than one. They do not need to be writers, just people who are well read. And the purpose of a beta reader is for them to read your manuscript and tell you if they like the characters, if they like the plot, if they noticed any gaping plot holes, if they were satisfied by the ending. All of those are important things to know before you start editing your manuscript.
Number 2, critique partners. They're going to be your best friends during the editing process. Make sure that whoever is critiquing your work is someone you trust, whose opinion you trust, and someone who will be honest enough to give you the hard truth about your manuscript. It'll only make things better.
Number 3, put away your red pen. I know it sounds crazy because we're talking about editing, but trust me on this. Turn off your inner editor and read the story as if you've purchased it from Amazon or at a bookstore. Whether that means reading it from your computer or uploading it to your Kindle or printing out 367 pages of paper, do it. Do it and read it. Just start to finish, and you'll notice some amazing things that you may not have noticed when you were writing it, and all of those are going to be extremely valuable when you begin to edit.
Number 4, print out a copy of your manuscript. It's a lot easier to spot mistakes when you're reading it on something else other than your computer.
Number 5, cut your beauties. I know, it's brutal. Maybe when you were writing your story, you had this scene that was so transcendent, you thought it was going to change the whole shape of the book. And when you go through on your first round of edits, you realize, doesn't do anything to move the plot forward or develop the characters. Chances are you don't need it there. So never get too attached to a piece of writing that you're afraid to delete it.
Number 6. Now this was a tip that my agent gave me and I thought it was amazing. I'd never thought of it before. What you do is, if you're writing fantasy, you pluck out all of the parts in the story that have to do with magic or any of the world building, and you put it on a separate document. Then you read over it and see if everything makes sense. That's genius.
Number 7, which could have came before number 5. When you are editing your manuscript, look at your scenes and ask yourself 2 questions. 1, does it move the plot forward? 2, does it develop my characters? If it doesn't do either of those 2 things, it hits the cutting room floor.
Number 8, and this is one of my favorite things to use. It's called a scene tracker. What you do is, on a spreadsheet, you write down all of the scenes and a little description. And then you make sure that it touches up on all the subplots and that each scene ups the stakes. If it doesn't, then you go back and you revisit it and make sure that either you cut it or that it adds something more to the story.
Number 9, read your story out loud. Yes, it's quite possible that you'll feel foolish doing this, but I guarantee you, you will find mistakes. Even if you think you have the most polished manuscript, I promise you, there are mistakes. And the best way to find them is reading it out loud.
Number 10, and I suggest you do this before you start editing and in between each edit or revision round, is get some distance from your story. Take a few days off or even a few weeks if you can and work on something else. Let the manuscript sit, and then that way when you revisit it again, it'll be with fresh eyes and you can spot things that you didn't before. If you're too close to a manuscript, you are going to miss a lot of things.
That's it for our top 10 list of things to remember when editing. If we missed any, or if you have some great tips to share with us, please leave them in the comments below. New videos every Monday and Friday. And please like, subscribe, and share. Bye!